My name is Maxwell Johnson. I'm a student at Kansas State University. So,
My name is Patrick Baber. I'm the GIS manager for the city of Roswell, Georgia.
all right. So I have some questions to ask on behalf of Dr. Worthy's CE1000 class. So, how many years have you worked in the GIS field?
I graduated in 2004 from the University of Georgia, and I've been working in GIS field ever since. So that's about 12 years.
Right. And how and why did you choose this career?
It kind of chose me. I actually entered into college as pre-med and took a couple of geography classes and really got interested in that. Started taking more and more geography classes, and with 2 years left to go, I got a call from my advisor saying I was not on track to graduate pre-med. So I changed my major to geography and found that the highest paying jobs were in GIS. So I took a couple of those classes. Again, was real fixated on the topic, and graduated with a degree in GIS and geography, and I've been in the field ever since.
Cool. And what is a typical day in your work life? So, what kind of stuff do you do in your work? What do you do? Meetings, etc.
Sure. The field of GIS varies completely from job to job. So you could ask that same question of 100 GIS professionals and get 100 different answers. For the city, I usually get into work about 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning, and do a quick checkup on any emails or anything that was left over from the day before. My team usually arrives slightly before I do, so I usually check in with them, make sure that they know what they're working on and what I'm expecting out of them for the day, see if they have any questions or any issues with anything that they're working on. I usually keep a list here of just the different initiatives that I'm working on, and with the priority if there is one. And I tackle the highest priorities first, and there's kind of an art and a science to juggling your daily tasks. I'll work through those tasks as quickly as I can, and usually toward the early afternoon I check in again with my team if I haven't had a chance to yet, and of course I get peppered with phone calls and meetings and things like that. So GIS is used to support. There are 8 departments within the city, and they all use GIS, so the phone could ring at any moment and I have to run out to talk to the fire chief about a map that he's working on, or talk to the police department about this crime statistics analysis that they're involved with, or the Public Works GIS coordinator to understand why guys in the field aren't seeing some of the data on their phones. So it's always something. I'm usually getting pulled in a few different directions, but again, there's an art and a science to balancing your workload.
As a college student, I'm well aware of that.
Right, I'm sure.
Let's see, and what are the most and least rewarding aspects of your job?
I really like to solve puzzles. I really like to work through a problem and use what I know to make somebody else's job a little bit easier. And so when I find that a current system can be improved using GIS, for example, the Public Works folks, when they're out in the field, they're installing pipes in the ground. The communication back to the office was pad and pencil, and they would go out, they would write down what they did, they would take that back to the office, somebody would enter that into a system, which was usually a spreadsheet of some sort, and if somebody else needed to know what was done, they had to dig through stacks of paper and spreadsheets to view, or to get a sense of what's out there in the field. With GIS, you can quickly bring up a map that's shows every asset that's in the field, and it gives you all kind of information about it, when it was installed, size, if it's ever been serviced, and it's dynamic. The guys in the field are using GIS on their phones now, so when they install something, they enter it into the phone. I can see it here at the office, and it lives on multiple servers, so if you ever lost one, that data doesn't go away. You asked me about this map before. The city of Macon used paper maps for a long time until a flood in the 90s, and they lost all their paper maps, and so they had to call a lot of guys out of retirement and pay them triple what they had paid when they actually worked there, to just sit down and tell them what they remembered, where all the major pipes were, where all that infrastructure was. So what I find most rewarding about the job is the ability to just make things run smoother, and to have somebody come through that door and say, my job is taking me too long, how can you help me save time, how can you make this better, and being able to do that for them. thing I like least about the job, and this kind of comes along with government, is the bureaucracy. I actually worked in private sector most of my career. I've only been with the city about 10 months. And there are pros and cons to public or private sector, but the bureaucracy that is ingrained in city government makes things slow sometimes. That and the nature of the the nature of the work can be real data intensive and computational. And I'm not the most technical person by nature, so when I get frustrated because I can't figure out a computer problem, that can be irritating as well.
All right, and what are the working conditions?
Well, I mean, it's office work for the most part. Again, you could ask 100 GIS professionals these questions and get 100 different answers. My job really is to coordinate all the GIS activities for the city, and the city has several different people that are very good at GIS, and then many more who just kind of know how to use GIS. So I'm usually in my office coordinating things, or I'll be in someone else's office helping them. It's not too much field work for me anymore, but they're pretty relaxed. It's an 8 to 5 job, and yeah, mostly office work.
Okay, and what would you say is the most important skills and abilities required for GIS?
You have to have a lot of problem-solving ability. In GIS, there's no one way to do anything. It's not things that are like engineering or medical, where there's the best way to do things or the right way to do things. In GIS, you find that there are many different ways to get to your answer, and so it's the ability to pick the correct path, the best path is pretty critical, and being able to learn on your own. GIS encompasses quite a bit. I mean, there's everything from heavy-duty programming and applications development down to data entry, and there's data analysis using all the information in GIS to answer questions, and to be able to juggle all those different skills and still manage your daily responsibilities is a must for the job.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem.